All right, hold on. I need to start the music here. We're gonna do this right. All right, time for the most horrific rendition of "I Am Here" you've ever heard in your life. All right, here we go. Do not fear, children, for I am here. That's right. The most hideous man you've ever seen in your life is back, positioned brilliantly in front of the light, so I could show off my radiance. And in no way is this a bad camera angle at all. We'll be fine. Plus, you won't be seeing me for long. Hello, everyone. Trevor Tiger finally back. It's been what? 500 years? I think it's been about 600. So, it's been a while since I did one of these. Things have changed since last time. As you could tell from the title, we're not going to talk about One Piece. We're not going to talk about Dragon Ball. We are going to talk about My Hero Academia, which I have recently watched the entire first season. And what episode am I on season 2? I think I'm on episode 16 on season 2. Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah, yes, it is episode 16 of season 2. I think I'm almost caught up. I haven't really checked a list of My Hero Academia episodes, but that's where I'm at. I think I'm close to being caught up with everyone, at least in terms of the anime. But what I want to do is a little bit different video. I want to take some time out just to go over the first season. If you want like a spoiler-free rendition review right now, here's my advice. Go watch the first season of My Hero Academia. It is a breath of fresh air. I like it. A lot of people like it. It's got great characters, great story. The music is very immersive. I really like it. There are a few weak areas, and you do need to give it a couple episodes in order to truly appreciate the anime. You need like a few episodes to really immerse yourself in it. Other than that, though, it's pretty good. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to not show you my hideous, disgusting face anymore. And we're just going to go. Let's see if I can get this right. Of course you don't. Of course you don't say that. No, you don't. All right, I'm just trying to get the entire slideshow ready. Yeah, that's right. The most professional YouTuber of all time here, and I have slides to share. There we go. Much better now. All right, so My Hero Academia Season 1. Let's just go right into it. For those that if any of you just showed up late, this is going to be full of spoilers. I'm spoiling all of Season 1 here. And after I'm done talking about Season 1, I'll probably work on a couple videos. Yeah, right here on the stream. Well, at least in the script right anyway. So anyway, My Hero Academia is a show in the long-lost land of Japan. And I just immediately lost all of you because that was the most racist thing I've ever said in my career. All right, so My Hero Academia stars a kid named Izuku Midoriya. He lives in a world where 80% of the population are superheroes or people with some kind of quirk, which is the legal safe word for saying, hey, we have superpowers. So Izuku is like, was inspired by this hero named All Might. I think I have this show. Yeah. He's inspired by the greatest hero of all time who is known as All Might. And he wants to be just like him. The only problem is, well, Izuku doesn't have a quirk. He doesn't have any superpowers. So after a life-changing situation where All Might rescues him from this sludge monster, All Might, Izuku's goal is to become just like All Might. It's kind of like a Naruto thing, where Naruto's going to be the Hokage, except now Midoriya's going to be, I'm going to be the world's greatest hero! Me! Alright, but seriously. The best way I can think about going about this is I'm just going to go episode by, not really episode by episode. I'm going to go talk about the first episode, because really I have a lot to say about that. Then I'll go into the characters, and then I'll go talk about like the 3 mini arcs the first season has. I think there's only like 3 mini arcs, each having their own self-contained story. Now, the first episode, I'm going to admit, I did not like much. I thought it was a very standard episode. You see, I think the anime wanted you to have this face all along, but by the end of it, this was me. I was like, okay, I just watched the first episode of what everyone's calling the greatest scene ever, and I wasn't really that impressed. But let's go into this a little bit more. So the first episode starts off with this kid, Izuku. And as I said earlier, all he wants to do is become the greatest hero in the world because he's inspired by the greatness of his idol, All Might. But the first half of this episode, it only exists so that you can feel as sorry for this kid as possible. He's not liked at his school. He's looked down by everyone. He himself is disappointed in himself because he cannot be a hero. He doesn't have a quirk. He can never really measure up to anyone. And it turns out that, that's like literally the first half of the episode, just seeing this giant sob story unfold. And then you have Izuku being attacked one day by this sludge monster. Just out of the blue, just a random villain. And Izuku's going through the phase. It's like, oh my god, this is it. I'm going to die. I've lived the most pathetic life of all time. And then here comes All Might. Hell yeah. Comes in, saves the kid. And Izuku and All Might have this conversation where Izuku's like, I finally got to meet you. Wasn't under the most, beneficial circumstances. I just gotta ask you, can I be a hero like you even though I don't have like a superpower? And All Might's just like, well, you see, and then he just immediately turns to like this wimpy, he turns into the most wimpy, pathetic version of a hero you could ever see. Like the most wimpy version. If you want to see someone that looks horrific, just look at me. See the picture of All Might, then you look back to me, that's pretty much what happens. All Might turns into a human. Well, not really a human. Did I just lose track? Okay, All Might turns into the most wimpy, not at all expected version, his true form. And Deku is just like, what are you? This is my hero? What can you do? And then the salt in the wound is increased more when All Might says, yeah, see, I'm a hero and I have a superpower. You're not good. Yeah, you need like a superpower to, really be someone. That was episode 1. And I really did not like it as much. I thought it was very standard. Like it wasn't living up to the expectations. It wasn't living up to the hype, I should say. But it felt very weird. Like the pacing was all over the place. In terms of the second half, because the first half took its time establishing this is Izuku Midoriya. Then you have All Might. It's like, okay, All Might's pretty cool. And then immediately you just have this giant sludge monster attack. And then you ended on like the most shocking reveal yet. And it's really, I didn't like it. It just felt off. And the first few episodes are truly like that, where the pacing just doesn't seem to be aligned. I think the animators were trying to find the balance of we need to get amazing character development in, but at the same time, we need to, keep cracking the action out. We have to keep cranking the lesson in. It feels disjointed in at least the first few episodes, but it picks itself up in the later episodes. Like after episode 3, the pacing is all on one track. It doesn't feel like 2 separate stories being told at the same time. And it really gets you immersed. So that was my only real complaint against season 1. The first few episodes were truly just meh. They were the most meh episodes. They felt standard. They didn't really pop out the most. And honestly, that's a giant problem because if an anime doesn't grab you in the beginning, like it's the first thing. First impressions are everything. So if the anime doesn't grab you with like the first couple episodes, you have a problem because people could just be like, oh, okay, this wasn't really impressive. I think I'll just give up now and just go away. I think I'll go back to watching that thing called Dragon Ball Super or One Piece anime and just see how more I could be disappointed in the anime itself. But thankfully, this show does get better because then instead of it just having the story focus on Izuku and All Might, even though the relationship is the starting point of season 1, there are a whole plethora of side characters that each have their own development. Izuku was very relatable to me when this show first started. He was called a nobody. He felt like a nobody. Only difference is he was given the once-in-a-lifetime chance to actually be someone. He could, and even though all the odds were against him, he just stood up and was like, yeah, I know all the odds are against me, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to do my best right now, and I'm going to do my best. I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to live up to my own expectations. And to be honest, I thought Midoriya would not inherit a quirk, or he would get All Might's quirk. What I thought originally was that, oh, this is going to be like an Iron Man story where Deku, he doesn't have a superpower, but that doesn't mean, with his mind, and he's studied heroes before, maybe he's just like a brilliant inventor or whatever. Maybe he'll just make like his own weapons or battle armor, something cool like that. But no, he gets All Might passes his own quirk onto him. And I'm kind of glad that he did, because each time Izuku uses this quirk, he gets seriously wounded. And it only serves as like, oh my god, this is the worst pain imaginable, but it's worth it because I can be a hero. And a bunch of the other characters are really likable too. Not all of them, but most of them. And so for this next part, I'm just going to focus on the classmates, because this is what the first season was all about. Showing the Izuku's interactions with his classmates and how he interacts with each of them. And I really do like the classmates because they're goddamn kids. And they're likable kids. You know how in, again, as a reference point, Naruto, all the kids were just stupid. None of them showed respect. Sure, they had like the character traits of a kid, but it missed that realistic edge, if you know what I mean. These kids, they're all realistic. They all support one another. They're all relatable. So to start this off, Yuga, his superpower is shooting a laser out of his gut, which at first, because since I'm majority American, I thought it was like a crotch laser. So take that with what you will, and please write your jokes later. But Yuga is he's the Cavendish of My Hero Academia. He thinks he's hot shit, but it turns out, no, he's really not. People think he has amazing power, but it's not really that special. He even gets tired if he uses his gut laser a few times. But what I like about him is just like his arrogance. Everywhere he goes, he's just like, oh yes, that is pretty, but I am the fairest of all, and you should all worship me. And he's not really developed. He's really more like a joke character, but at least it's a good joke character. He could have been made so much worse. So the next student is Mina. In season 1, she didn't get much screen time, if any. No, she got a little bit of screen time, which is another problem with season 1. With only 13 episodes and you're trying to establish so many characters, you can't establish the whole cast so quickly. Some students get more screen time because how important they are to Izuku's development as a character, while the rest of them are just kind of in the background. But that being said, at least they still have some purpose. At least they're not just there in the background just for the sake of being in the background and filling it up. No, they actually have a role to play. Mina, she's there. Again, she doesn't do much, but I liked her interactions of the other characters. Her design is freaking amazing. I really like that. I think her power is like acid. I had a joke for this, but it didn't work. It didn't. I got nothing. But anyway, Mina wasn't that impressive a character. I know in season 2 she gets more. She gets more screen time. She gets some more badass moments. But in season 1, she doesn't really do much. The next character, this girl. I'll be honest. This is Sue the Frog. When I first saw her, I immediately thought, okay, what the fuck is this? Who is this? There's no way. There's no conceivable way you're going to make me care about this girl. And Sue has this quirk called a frog. Like, Froggy is the name of the quirk. And I'm just sitting there like, she looks weird. She doesn't do much. And her ability is to be like a frog. Of course this can't go anywhere. Then I was proven wrong, because apparently Sue is the most likable character on the show, according to the internet. It's really weird to see. The next character on this list of just like, oh, I didn't even get to the best part. So yeah, Sue is one of those characters where she has more development than others. She actually spends the last few episodes with Izuku. She spends time with him. They get to work together a lot. And she does prove herself in a fight. I was relatively surprised that a frog could fight. I didn't know that we stumbled into the Battletoads. But Sue is an interesting character. I don't think she's meant to be too special. I think she's just there just to be the sake as she's just there to be a friend. I don't see her like really getting much main character focus. But she's still cool. I liked her. It took me a little bit to really like her. It took me to like the end of season 1 to really acknowledge her as like someone that I would admire. But she's a pretty cool character. The next character, Tenya. This is Uryu Ishida from Bleach. If his nerd personality was just embodied. Actually, now that I look at him, oh my god, he is an exact clone of Uryu. Well, oh my god, I feel like an idiot for not realizing that sooner. Okay, so Tenya is I don't want to say stuck up. I just want to say he's very strict about manners, strict about responsibility. He doesn't want to do anything unless it's like it's by the book and it's by the rules. He is one of the 3 main characters. Actually, no, he's one of 5 main characters in season 1, right next to Midoriya, because they hang out a lot. And I really do like Tenya as a character. His quirk's interesting. He has like little engines out of his legs that helps him achieve super speed. And I really like his motivation. Everyone in this show who has the power wants to be a hero because, oh, one day I'm going to stand at the very top. But Tenya is doing it, oh, I'm not doing it just to be at the top. I'm doing this because I just want to be like my older brother, who is also a professional hero, and I just want to be just like him. So immediately you have a contrast, like, wow, Izuku is trying to be as good as All Might, and meanwhile Tenya is just trying to be as good as his older brother. It's a really interesting contrast. I really like Tenya as a character. His quirk's interesting, pretty good. The next character is the second out of the 5 main characters out right next to Izuku, Ochako. And when I first saw her, I immediately thought, oh my god, this is the token female character. Let me guess, she's a shy girl. She doesn't want to, she's not really social. She's not going to do much. She's just there to look hot and to make all the men, you know, have a nice warm sweat later. But I was thankfully proven wrong. Ochako is like one of the most human characters in this show. I love her power. Her quirk is the manipulation of gravity. Whatever she touches, she can immediately get rid of all the gravity, and then when she chooses, she can release it. That's pretty cool. I didn't really find it but there's no way you can really fight people with that quirk. I was proven wrong in season 2 by her. But she's interesting, and her goal is the most human and most likable goal out of everyone. All she wants to do is be a hero to get rich, but she's not getting rich for the sake of herself. She's getting rich so that she can, you know, treat her parents better, better than life has. And I really like that. It's like she's doing this for them. And as a man that's like who's gone in multiple fights with his parents, it's just like, okay, that's adorable, and it makes me want to be a better person. So Ochako's pretty cool. She still kind of has that stereotypical, I'm shy, but I'm really strong, but no, Deku-san, I don't know. But she's cool. I like her. The next character, Jiro, another season 1 character that doesn't get much screen time. He's just there. In fact, if I remember right, I don't think he even had like his quirk explained in season 1. We just saw him do a few things in one episode, And that was it. And then we never saw him again. He was lost to the realm of obscurity. Until at least season 2, when he actually did something. Well, he tried to be cool, and then he got wrecked. So not much to say on him. I do like his design. I like how he has like this giant tail. But he's fine. But again, just like many characters in season 1, he's not that good. He wasn't really developed much. Speaking of which, hello, Groot. Yeah, I know he has a name, but I'm calling him Groot. He doesn't talk. He has a really friendly relationship with animals. Actually, calling him Android 16 will be the better comparison. Android Groot. I'm going to call you that from now on. Android Groot. I don't think we ever saw his power. He's just like this really quiet type, doesn't talk. But at least he's still part of the action. Like when things go down, he doesn't just sit behind. He actually tries to do something. Again, he's just like Jiro and many others. He just doesn't have much development. Then there's Denki. This guy is, he has my favorite design. He's my favorite looking character in My Hero Academia. I don't know what it is. It's probably because just like I'm a sucker for spiky blonde hair, wearing the black and having electricity powers. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. So to see all that embodied in just one kid, I really like that. And Denki himself is a main character, kind of. His power is electricity, but he can't really like control it. He can only like make electricity wrap around his body, and he can only shock whoever he touches. A nice little twist, because if you could just control lightning and the very fundamental powers of its nature, you would be the most OP motherfucker that would ever exist in My Hero Academia. If you just controlled the very essence of lightning, like Enel from One Piece, you know, I don't think anyone would stand against you. So I really like the whole, there is a weakness, but he can turn that weakness into a strength. If there's a weakness to him, I don't really like his ultimate weakness, because if he uses his powers too much, he just kind of just stands still and just goes, just slowly walks around going, I never really found that appealing. I didn't find that funny. I think it's supposed to be a gag, but it's like, it's not funny. I didn't find much enjoyment in that. It's just like, really? Okay, I'll just wait for your little joke to pass by. But I really like him. Hopefully, as season 2 or 3 goes along, he gets the development he deserves. He gets to have the recognition that I want him to get. So moving on, Jiro, who is literally, how do I put this? He's Greed from Fullmetal Alchemist, who, if Greed from Fullmetal Alchemist had sex with Grimjow from Bleach, and they had a weird baby, and then they dyed his hair red. There you go. This is Jiro. His ability is turning into, he can harden his body. Like Metapod from Pokemon, he can just harden it up. He can take heavy blows. And I think his hands have claws if he hardens. I don't really remember. What's interesting, though, is that Jiro is one of, like, is another main character right next to Denki and a couple other students, where near the end of season 1, he was featured prominently as like, I'm going to stand up and be one of the main fighters. I'm like, really? Okay, cool. Your ability is hardening, but whatever. I won't judge. It was just weird seeing this kid of all people who didn't get much development at all before the end of season 1 just be like, I'm now the main fighter. Fight me if you dare. But I like Jiro. He's, for what we saw in the first season, he's all right. He's confident. He gets some really good interactions off the other characters, especially Bakugo. And he's pretty cool. Again, there's not much else to say. He didn't have much development or screen time until the end of season 1, like Sue and Denki. But, you know, at least he was there, and at least he was willing to stand up for himself and for his peers at the end of season 1. I respect that. Moving on now, we have Sato. His quirk, I honestly didn't remember at first. Before, when I was just gathering all these pictures together, I didn't remember this guy in particular. I completely forgot about him, and it took me like a Wikipedia search in order, like, oh, so this is him. His quirk is insane. If this man eats sugar, he gets stronger. And I think there's like a limit to how much sugar he can take, but once he gets enough, he's incredibly strong. But this is one of the characters that really doesn't get any time dedicated to him at all. If there was anyone that was just there in the background to be part of the background, it's this guy. He's just there. Even in season 2, he doesn't even do much. I think he gets like a couple lines and that's it. And the same thing for this season. I think he only interacts with like one other character, but it's just, what do I even say about him? I got nothing. That's one of my other complaints for season 1. This character is just like, he's just there. And even in season 2, he's just there. But moving on now, Mezzo looks like a leftover Ankar from Bleach. I like this guy. He doesn't do much. He doesn't say much. But his quirk is insane. He can sprout like multiple body parts. And those body parts can morph into like extra mouths and hands or whatever he needs in order to get a problem solved. It is insane watching him work. It's really weird to look at, but it's just one of the more creative powers in this series. I hope he did get more development in season 2, but in season 1 he just kind of shows up just a little bit more than the others. He's still kind of there, and he doesn't get really any development, but at least he's there. Moving on. Kyoka, the earphone jack girl. She's just like Denki. Where she didn't get much screen time at all until the very end of season 1. She doesn't really show off what she can do. She doesn't show off any character traits at all until the end of season 1. I cannot stress this enough. Season 1 may have an entire cast, but one of its greatest weaknesses is that it can't give its entire cast the development it needs, because even though they're showing them in a prominent manner, we, the audience, don't feel connected to them. We're just seeing kids. We needed more time to be connected to them. Like with Izuku, Todoroki, Bakugo. We know them. Even Ochako and Tenya. We know who they are because we got time to see them. But with this character, no, we don't really know her. And she gets a prominent role in like episode 10, I think. So oopsie daisy, she doesn't get much time here. I don't really have anything else to say about her. She was just kind of there. Though I do like her power. I think she produces sound out of the earphone jacks that's attached to her earlobe. I think that's it. I'm not sure. She just doesn't have much development. And then there's Luffy. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling him Luffy. What else do you see? I see the wide-eyed face with the giant grin. And his power, just like Luffy, is so simplistic and yet kind of effective. His power is tape. He can just stretch out lines of tape and envelop someone in it. And it's honestly it's like a quirk that I really shouldn't like, but for some reason it just has that simplistic edge. Like, you know what, Sarah? That's pretty cool. That's his name, by the way. I'm sorry. I meant to call him Luffy. But again, like most other characters, he doesn't even appear in season 1 that much. Tokoyami. I like this guy. His power was all about manipulating shadows. And at first, I thought he was very egotistical. He kept to himself, and when he uses his power, he creates like this shadow being that's shaped like him out of his gut, like Yuga. And I was thinking, all right, so he's like Prime from Fullmetal Alchemist, and when he creates a shadow to attack someone, he does it in his likeness. And I thought, that's so egotistical. What? Jeez. I mean, Vegeta much, are you? And then by season 2, I learned that, oh, the shadow bird that he creates is literally just like a whole separate being. Nothing in his control. It's like, oh, never mind. Okay, Tokoyami's just pretty cool. He's an all right guy. He gets some time. He's played in season 1 as a mysterious figure. One you don't know much, but you feel like you already do know about. kind of like Batman. Like if you watch the current DC movies, you see Batman, it's like, yeah, I think I don't know much about you, but I think I get the general gist of you. So Tokoyami's pretty cool. Again, he doesn't get much time, but he does get some time, if that even makes sense. And then we get to Scumbag Pervert. Next. Now we have Momo. Okay, going back to Mineta is, I'll just make this quick. He's my least favorite character in season 1, right next to another character. Mineta is just a pervert. His quirk is stickiness. So, you know, with his obsession of girls, he can just fill in the blanks right there. But he can stick himself onto others. He can take his hair and just make it stick to other things and people. But he's really just there to get laid or cop a feel. He's really not that interesting. He's a joke character, but he's not even that good as a joke character. I think he's one of my major complaints about season 1 in its entirety. Next, Momo, a much better character. She doesn't have main character status, but I want to say that of all the students, she's one of the only ones that got like featured prominently throughout all of season 1. She's a dedicated, know-it-all person. She is kind of like Tenya, strict with the code, strict with the law, strict within the laws of reason. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But her ability is insane. So long as she knows the molecular structure of an object, she can create it. Which I think is just the scientific way of saying, oh, if you just imagine something, you could just make it up. Momo is insane. I remember she made like a can in season 1. She made nets. Her ability is just insane. Her character, I don't want to say, it's not as creative as her quirk. You've seen this person before in other shows and other stories. She's very strict. She doesn't seem like the most friendly person. She's just trying to do things by the book. Whatever, you've seen it. But her power is insane. She's a good character. It's just that it's not the most special character that you've seen in the show. Then there's Invisible Girl. I don't even remember her name. What was it? Suru? No, that's the frog lady. Wow, I honestly forget her name. I shall dub her Susan Storm, because honestly, that's the only name I can come up with. So if you have a problem, you can just sue me. Anyway, Susan Storm's ability is, well, you guessed it, invisibility. She doesn't do or say. She doesn't do or do much. She doesn't really say. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. She says some stuff. But she's not really featured prominently. Whenever she's on camera, she's just there to just be like, do voices of encouragement, which is really weird, but it's weird talking about her because she does have some lines, and she is featured, ironically, but she doesn't do much. She doesn't say much. I'm more baffled by the fact that she got even accepted in this prestigious high school when all she can do is just turn invisible. That's it. I just don't have much to say before I get any more awkward. I'm just going to go on to the next one. Bakugo. Bakugo is not a likable character. He is made to be hated. I don't know if there's any real appeal to him because he was just made to be like the bully type character. But his quirk is insane. He can create explosions in his hands. He is the lifelong rival to Izuku. The rivalry is intense, very Naruto and Sasuke-like, but the difference is I actually care about what happens to both of them. Bakugo may seem like he just has this layer of eccentric jerk all around him at all times, but at the same time, there's like a layer of complexity inside him. Like there is a reason that there's a reason that he's like this. We don't know what it is yet, but it's there. It's evident. I don't want to say that he's the most hated character on the show because Mineta is a character that exists. But in terms of him, he's cool, but he's also rude. He was created with the sole purpose of being hated. But I feel like as the show will go on, we're going to delve deeper into his character so that he doesn't remain as the bully stereotype. Moving on now, the best character in the show, Jesus Christ, Todoroki. He is my favorite character in the show, and you know what? It might be so common for someone to say that, but he really is. In season 1, Todoroki is a character that is able to control ice and fire at the same time. It's like a very insane quirk. In season 1, he was just built up as like, I'm the cool guy, and I am the best of my class, and I am the example that all of you need to follow. He is, again, one of the 5 main characters in season 1, right next to Bakugo, Izuku, Ochako, and Tenya. And he doesn't get much room for actual development. He just kind of shows off through all of season 1. It's only when season 2 happens does the show really focus on him and his backstory. And his backstory is amazing. You can expect a video from me, like a more structured, more in-depth video, where I talk about why Todoroki's backstory and his fight with Izuku is one of my favorites, not only in the show, but in all anime. But Todoroki is a very interesting character. He's shown as a show-off, but like Bakugo, you can tell there's like a layer of complexity to him. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, you have the teacher, Eraserhead, or Aizawa. How do I define him? He's good, and he's definitely prominent, but he's more like the stereotypical anime teacher, very strict with students, but of course he has like this one little like he likes the main character because of course he has to like the main character. And I thought he was gonna be like a real just another stereotype. It's just like, oh, I'm really strict, but you know, since you're a main character, whatever. But at least the show actually makes the effort of showing like, oh, this is how Izuku can impress the teacher. This is how the two of them will get along and form a connection, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean. But Eraserhead has a very interesting ability called, oh, come on. I think it's literally just a race where he can turn off someone's quirk so long as his eyes stay awake. So that's why his eyes just look so horrific. But anyway, oh no, that's the wrong pick. We'll get to that. I really do like his quirk. It's an insane quirk. He does really well in fights. I thought he was just going to be like another stereotype. And many characters seem like they're going to be stereotypes in this show. But to its credit, they're treated with much more respect, much more dignity, and are actually treated like human beings. That's one of the show's greatest points. So that's all the prominent characters or the hero side in season 1. I like all of them. Todoroki is obviously my favorite, even though Izuku is a very close second. All of them are good. I think My Hero Academia's strongest point is like the characters are all interesting. They all have this likability factor to them. And now, with that being said, I'm going to briefly go over my thoughts about the 3 different mini arcs in this season 1. So first off, we have I know I chose the greatest picture of all time for this one. To start this off, it's I don't even have a name for it. It's the first 4 to 5 episodes where Izuku gets his quirk from All Might, except he learns that, oh, my body can't even take it, so I need to train. These first 4 episodes are like the origin story to a superhero movie. You have your character, then you build him up for a little bit, and then you have him show, like you have a little montage showing like this is what he's doing to be the hero that he needs to be. It's a very standard arc. It's like I said at the very beginning of the stream in my rambling nonsense, but the first few episodes feel very standard. They don't really do anything spectacular. That happens afterwards. Speaking of which, by the way, the first few episodes were standard, whatever. The second mini arc, this is only like 3 episodes, is the mock battle mini arc that season 1 has. These 3 episodes focus on Bakugo and Izuku's first real clash as heroes and as rivals on equal footing. The goal is to go 2 people will act as heroes, the other 2 will act as villains. The villains will guard a fake nuclear device, and the heroes have to go in, grab the device, and that's how you win. Of course, Bakugo, in his hatred for Izuku, goes after him and leaves Tenya, his partner, behind. And meanwhile, it's up to Deku to hold off Bakugo while Ochaku, Izuku's partner, goes out to defuse the nuclear missile and make them win the match. And even though it's not really much of a fight, I really do like Deku versus Bakugo. It's a fight fueled in raw emotion. There's not really much flashy choreography because the choreography isn't needed. It's just a battle between 2 old friends, 2 rivals, and ultimately just someone that really cannot stand to see someone from his past get the better of him. And I'm, of course, talking about Bakugo. But these 3 episodes, I think they're my personal favorite out of the first season because not only after the mock battle between Izuku and Bakugo takes place, everyone not everyone. Some characters get featured more, and we get to see what they can do, like Todoroki, Mezzo, and Denki. But the whole point of these few episodes was to show the fight between Deku and Bakugo. I really do enjoy that element. I really enjoy their fight. It's well worth it. It was worth the wait of watching, like, okay, when is Izuku going to take this guy down? He doesn't take Bakugo down, well, he does, but not in the way you're thinking. And then we have oh, that's not good. I thought that picture would be bigger than usual. There we go. Much better. Okay. And then we have the Pavillon Invasion Arc, which is like 4 episodes, I want to say. This is when all the heroes, no, not heroes, all the students meet up at a rescue, at the Rescue Operations Center, something. It's USJ, that's what it's called. And there they meet one of the pro heroes, 13. And the point of them being there is like, all right, you know how to use these powers in combat, but it's time you learn how to use these powers in an actual rescue operation. So what happens is, right before they begin their actual rescue missions, the League of Villains suddenly appear out of nowhere in an attempt to kill some kids in order to lure All Might out. That way, they can kill All Might. That's the arc. It's just, oh, we're gonna trap All Might here and then kill him. That's the mini arc. Love-hate relationship with these last few episodes. On one hand, you get to see everyone showing off what they can do. Everyone is able to hold off their own, and I actually did feel suspense from everyone. And the final fight between All Might and this bird creature named Nomu, we'll get to him in a second, is spectacular. These few episodes really do show that, all right, these kids may be kids, but at least they know what they're doing. And then you have one of the greatest flaws in this show, Tomura. I had to look up his name again before this stream so that I could get his name right. His quirk is decay. Like, he touches someone, it can decay. I do like his design. I like the rugged personality. It's a spoiled brat, but it has levels of intelligence, and it's just like a sadistic side. It's very sadistic. But Tomura doesn't really do much. He's not really he doesn't look like the main villain. Even the show acknowledges that he's not the main villain. But he doesn't do much. He's not really that engaging. He's there as like this big bad guy, but it's just not impressive. I didn't really like him. I didn't look at him out of fear. I only looked at him like, oh geez, when is this guy gonna get beat down? With every time I saw him, I kept thinking to myself, all right, how long is this? How many minutes left during the episode? I wasn't that impressed with him. And season 2 is not really doing much to improve my likability of Tomoro, but at least he's there. He's got a few things going for him, but he needs improvement. And finally, we have Nobu. This is like the true final boss of season 1. And I'm only putting this picture here so I can talk about the All Might versus Nomu fight. So, of course, the whole point of the arc was to lure out All Might in order to have Nomu kill him. And episode 12, just simply titled All Might, really built up the possibility like, oh yeah, All Might's going to get slaughtered. This is his death episode. Izuku's going to take the torch in episode 13. Everything's going to be fine. No, fuck that. Instead, in a really respectable move, My Hero Academia's last 2 episodes of the season show why All Might is called All Might. It shows why he is the greatest hero of their time. And the fight between them is spectacular. It was well worth watching the entire season just to reach that point because I was very excited watching that. And after that, that was pretty much it. Season 1 just kind of ended on a very subtle note. Built up, of course, tension for the next season, but it ended like, well, a high school anime kind of would. Have some room open for questions, have some room open for hope for the next season, but it still felt satisfying. I think that's what I really like about this show. It treats its characters with the respect and dignity that they deserve. Everyone is there for a purpose, well, mostly everyone anyway. But in all, season 1 was just a pretty good show. And I really do enjoy watching this. Again, I cannot stress this enough. I can't stress it enough. Everyone should deserve to go see. Everyone should go watch My Hero Academia season 1. It is pretty good. And I think that is literally all that I needed to say. I'm losing my voice here, so I may have to end this early. Once again, I am losing everything here. All right. Hopefully I get to talk more in depth about My Hero Academia in the future. Honestly, I was hoping this stream would be more cohesive. I had stuff planned out for it. Didn't really work. We'll see what happens in the future. Hopefully I could just make another video that will redeem this stream. I'm not really particularly happy about how this stream went. The voice loss, I could have been more in-depth a little. But I'll definitely fix this in the future. So with that being said, if you enjoyed watching this stream, thank you very much for even watching this. And I will see you all legends next time. Take care.